Hello.
Hello, happy Sunday shift.
Happy Sunday shift. First, I just want to make sure that I say thank you so much to Henry and to Liz, who is a repeat uh, coffee buyer for us. Every time we get these alerts, I just smile. It makes my heart so happy because people do not have to do anything for us. We enjoy coming on here and talking about this show. And so for people to donate to our little link, we are very, very grateful. So thank you so much to y'all. Um, Make sure to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about Sunday Shift.
Yeah.
How's your week?
Um, my week has been pretty okay. So, for those who are following along in my career trajectory, I have started a new job. Well, I'm going to start a new job. So last week was my last week with my current vocation. So I work for a council member, Carol Fife, and so I spent the last week with her and my team. And so it was a
Mm.
little bittersweet because we had our own little um, clique of Black
They love
women
you.
working together. And so yeah,
Mm-mm.
so it's a little bittersweet. And now I'm going to work for San Francisco BART, which is a larger agency. And so I have to start over. For those of you who know what it's like starting at a new job, you got to figure out how things work, see who are going to be your friends or your colleagues or whatever. And so that's a little daunting, but I'm excited to start something, a new adventure. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, that's been my week.
it's
And the
exciting.
yeah, it's exciting. And then in the entertainment world for me, I started watching Skeleton Crew on Disney, which is so cute. So basically, it's imagining being in the Star Wars universe as a little kid, just living a regular life and just, stumbling across a spaceship. So, it's
Okay.
interesting. It's such an interesting take on the Star Wars universe, which I find really kind of refreshing. So, yeah, but that's pretty much
Nice.
it. Still, watching holiday movies. Um,
Always.
so,
Hmm.
how was your week?
Oh my God. It feels like a marathon, like it's just like a sprint getting to the finish line of the year. And so everything feels piled on at the end of the year. Everybody's last minute meetings and a lot of the work I do is facilitation. So I've been facilitating Zoom meetings. I have to go to DC and facilitate in-person meeting. Um, some kind of family stuff happened. So I was supposed to have been in New York to go to the Evan and Katie event um,
Evan
through
and Katie.
uh, Dex and Willow event.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
I ended up not being able to go, but yeah, it looked fun. Friends were there, looked
Mhm.
like they had a good time. Um, I was tell I was so embarrassed, and this is like such a facilitator and such like a first world problem of embarrassment. So I have my own Zoom, and so
Mm.
put together everything. Have this team that I'm working with come on the Zoom, and I was supposed to do breakout rooms, and my Zoom wouldn't do a breakout room. I was so embarrassed, but people who don't facilitate don't understand how embarrassed I was. Like the level. I mean, just humiliated. You would have thought
Oh no. Was this
it
just
wasn't that
now?
serious. No,
Because
no, no,
you're
no,
like
no.
in a you're like in a look like you're in a work outfit. Your hair's all done. You look good. You look
Thank
cute.
you. No, I just took a little walk today, but no, I have not done any
Okay.
work. But yeah, it was so funny. And everybody's like, you are so funny for being this humiliated. And I was like, oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. But I had to have people call each other on the phone, which they said they really liked doing because we're so not used to doing that anymore.
Uh-huh.
But that's when I realized that I need to do something besides work because I was so humiliated over a
Oh
Zoom. It was,
no.
yeah. Um, but the thing I did for fun this week because I went to go see Wicked again, and I
Okay.
loved it, and I loved it again, and I'm sure I will see it again in the
Good.
theaters. It's such a theater movie, and I loved it. I might go when they do sing along.
Nice. I still haven't seen it. I didn't get a chance to go to the movies this week.
Yeah. When I'm back,
So,
maybe we'll do it.
okay.
Um, yeah, this week. So I just want to say, and before you get into performer of the week,
Uh-huh.
I am so self-conscious now because of the person who, and they weren't wrong, who a few weeks ago was like, y'all are so negative, particularly me. And I was like, so I've been like trying really hard to find something positive. And I have a few things, but I just really feel down on the show the last couple of weeks.
Oh no.
So I want you to know that as we go into this conversation. So that when I'm down, I mean, I have positive things to say, but when I'm down on it and when I'm critical, I'm like, damn, I am really critical of the show right now.
Oh.
But who is your performer of the week?
Oh, okay. I have three, well, three performances which I enjoyed and was emotional. Well, basically, shout out to Alexa Havens, who's making her real debut as Lulu Spencer, in the sense that she is acting alongside some key characters that are important to Lulu.
Hmm.
Having scenes with Jonathan Jackson's Lucky, having scenes with Jeannie Francis Laura, and holding her own and seeming, and from what I've seen, the people who do enjoy Lulu as a character, everyone's saying she's doing a great job and that she reminds them of Julie Berman. People have been saying, like in the articles that she has done an interview with, she had said that she hadn't looked at past performances of either actress, but instead chose to look at performances for Luke and Laura and the rest of the family, and kind of getting an idea from the fans of what they're looking for in a Lulu Spencer. And so
Okay.
it seems like she had did her homework in that way because people are very pleased with her performance, even if they don't enjoy necessarily. Believe in some of the story elements. They do like her as an actress. So I just want to give her a shout out. I did love her as Babe, and even though Babe as well and
You
All My
love
Children,
Babe.
well, no, I enjoyed her as Babe. Like Babe as a character was very problematic. She stole Bianca's baby, but
I've never
Alexa
gotten over it.
Havens, Alexa Havens was really great as her, and she's just showing how great she is as an actress. And so shout out to her. Also have to give shout outs to Taj Bello and Kristen Vaganos with Molly and TJ's breakup this week. Man, I was crying. Now, here's the thing. I didn't like TJ and Molly as a couple. I thought they were the most boring thing ever. Some people did. I didn't. But their breakup was super emotional for me. At least it brought me to tears and made me sad. I'm over it now, but I just felt like that those scenes were great. And so I just want to give them a shout out. And Kristen Vaganos was doing great scenes throughout the week. Oh my God, we'll talk about Friday, but man, she's doing a great job as Molly. So I just want to give them three my props for the week.
I love how we can disagree. No, it's not even that. I think, I, the interesting thing about Alexa is I think that she is doing a good job. I
Yeah.
think that's just on a personal level, and so much of this is what I think about, like personally, and because I don't feel like the show has been good, it's hard
Hmm.
to escape how I personally feel about things to
Hmm.
like invest in a story, invest in a show. And so I know as a person, as a Sam fan, as a Kelly fan, I am so bitter about the way Kelly
Hmm.
Monaco was done. It's really
Hmm.
hard to enjoy anything that's happening with Lulu now. I never cared for Lulu as a character. But I will say, I think Alexa has amazing chemistry with JJ as a
Hmm.
brother, amazing chemistry with Jeannie as her mom. So as you're talking about the kind of job she's doing, I can imagine that people who like the character of Lulu or who are open to the character of Lulu would think she's doing a good job. Just as a person as Tracy, I'm not open to the character of Lulu right now.
Hmm.
And so there's a bitterness, but it has nothing to do with her performance. It's just very, very personal. But yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
her chemistry with everyone. I loved her scenes with Finn, who plays Rocco. So
Hmm.
believable as his mom.
Oh yeah.
So I think divorced of how I feel about everything that's happening, I can agree that I think Alexa is like showing up and she at first I made a face when you said she didn't watch the other actresses, but then part of it is like it's been so long. M was nothing like
Yeah.
Julie, and I
Right.
didn't really care for M's portrayal in a
Right.
way that I did at least find some enjoyment from Julie. The
Yeah.
only part, and that's not all M's fault. I think I kind of liked M when she was staying with Milo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Her
Yeah.
movie, but nothing else. I didn't particularly care about Lante ever, but specifically
Mm-hmm.
not with her. Um, I have been having such a hard time with TJ that it was hard for me to ground myself into Taj's performance to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I will say that Kristen, phenomenal.
Right.
Um, every I'm like, give my girl some water. I know she dehydrated. She got to cry all the time. It's just everything. My
Yes. I
goodness.
mean, it was like heartbreaking. And then also I want to give a
Mm-hmm.
shout out to the boys. Rocco and
Finn
Danny
and
had some
Asher.
tough scenes. Yeah, they had some very tough scenes as well. I mean, one, Rocco having that reunion with his mom, and then Danny having to watch it and, having feelings about it, missing his mom. Those were also some tough
Yeah.
scenes to have. So, yeah, appreciate
Mhm.
them both too.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I agree with all that.
and then
Yes.
finally, shout out. I hate it. I hate the Nancy Legrand and Rick Hurst fight. Man,
Oh my goodness.
that was like, woo.
Hmm.
But
Nancy's putting in work.
she has put in work. I have to give that to her. Ooh,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Nancy's putting in work. I would say for me, um, the most compelling characters, and I don't like either of these characters, but I love them, love the actors. The most
Hmm.
compelling people on screen for me are Rick and Ava. I
Hmm.
cannot take my eyes off of them. I want to know everything
Right.
they're doing. It
Yes.
is the actors of GH are the saving grace of this show. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
daytime, prime time, movies, like whatever it is, these people are top tier, and they come to freaking work. And I do feel
Hmm.
very grateful to be watching a show that has actors who are this top tier.
Yes. Yes. Right.
Let us get into the stories. So, first up, let's talk about the conclusion of Ava's trial, which also like had all these ripple effects for Tali and all these people. But Ava's trial, obviously, Ava was found not guilty by this jury. We had Molly being like really clear, like, yeah, after hearing everything, I felt that she wasn't guilty too. Were you surprised about the outcome of the trial? How did you feel about everything?
No, actually, I was not. I felt like after Rick's summation of his presenting of the case, I felt like he did a good job convincing the jury and convincing Molly. So I was not surprised that Ava was found not guilty. I was no, I wasn't surprised at the reactions either, except at how hard Christina went against Molly. I think that conversation was tough, and I felt like Christina went below the belt. But everybody else's reactions was not a surprise to me. Not to say that they didn't do a good job in those reactions. It was just like everything that happened that occurred did not surprise me. Um, I felt first again, masterful Rick. Not only he knew what he was doing and he did a great job, but he felt guilt. He
Mm-hmm.
felt um nervous. He felt sad for his daughter and
Mm-hmm.
concerned for her. And as you know, he does such an amazing job of making me feel something about him, even though he's
Mm-hmm.
like really. really like I felt like the fight
Slimy.
between yeah, slimy. The fight between him and Alexis, they were going toe to toe. And both of them had, both of them aren't squeaky clean people.
Mm-mm.
And so it was almost tough for me to decide which side to be on. But I was
I was
on
not
Rick's because
tough.
I just it was
Same.
tough for me. Yeah, so I was just like I was on Rick's side, but
Yes.
Alexis was, scoring points too. So um yeah, and then what also surprised me a little bit was the conversation between Ava and Sunny in the end that Sunny in the end decided to let, Ava see Avery.
Mm,
I was surprised that he did that because I really felt he was super pissed at Ava, super pissed at Rick, and I thought he was going to be the same old petty Sunny and be like, "No, you can't see Avery at all," but he ended up relenting, and so that did surprise me a little bit. But I mean, not Alexa, uh, Alexis,
hmm
was being her petty, mean self. And on some level, I want to be like, she's still mourning Sam and blah blah blah. But then, my hatred of her character, period, just won out. And I was like, I just don't, she was getting on my
Yeah.
nerves. And oh my God. So let me go back to the conversation that she had with Molly on the couch just before the verdict. She and Molly were talking, and she was trying to reassure Molly, saying, none of this was your fault. You don't have to feel guilty over the breakup. And then she said this one thing that she was like, man, this is why I don't like you. She said, I just want you to understand that I know that Christine is wrong. And that I was just like, so you know Christina is wrong, yet you still continue to coddle her over Molly.
hmm
That's why I'm just like, lady, do you not understand the disconnect? I'm just like, I can't. Yeah, that like, and then having to follow that with her fight with Rick. That's what I was just like, that's why I can't stand you. But yeah,
Mm.
all that was all in a jumble. I know it wasn't really organized thoughts, but those are some
No,
of my
it was concise to me. Um,
yeah.
it
So
was in order to me. Um,
great.
I will say something that was interesting about the Rick
Hmm.
Alexis fight was, again, this is when I was like, my petty is coming out. I didn't realize how bitter I still was at Alexis over defending Manny. That
Oh,
was
that's
before she even
right.
knew that
Yeah.
Sam was her daughter. That was so long ago.
Yeah.
If folks do who didn't watch, if you don't remember, this is
Hmm.
before Sam and Alexis knew they were mother and daughter. There was a man who was like stalking and tried to assault Sam named Manny Ruiz. Very
Hmm.
problematic of GH with their racist situations, but um, Manny tried to like assault Sam and all these things, and he was dangerous. And Alexis chose to defend him and like defended herself to Sam about why she was defending him. So it's like
Hmm.
you can defend straight up monsters, and people are supposed to like understand that. But
Hmm.
when Rick goes to bat and is right, Ava is not
Hmm.
Manny. Ava is not the monster that y'all try to make her out to be. I have a lot of
Right.
issues with Ava. It's not this.
Yeah.
And so it just came up for me. I was like, how dare you act this way? And it bothers me that Sunny and Alexis are like coddling Christina. And I do
Hmm.
wonder, I mean, this is also like previewing into like what's to come, but there has to be some mental break coming that
Right.
they are partly responsible for. Every
Yeah.
time they don't check her, every time they let her
Hmm.
call that baby Adela, every time they let her talk to people any kind of way, even this trial, nobody in their right mind would believe that Ava just pushed Christina. That doesn't
Right.
even make sense as a story. That's not who Ava is as
Right.
a kid, as a person.
Right.
And it certainly isn't who Ava is to Avery's sister. Maybe if we were
Exactly.
talking about when Ava first came on the show and she was a little bit more, but like her relationship with Trina has softened her, losing Kiki has softened her. There are so many things and so many reasons that we would not believe that Ava is the kind of person who would just push Christina out of a window. Molly was the only person who had any kind of sense when it came to that. So to
Hmm.
like have Alexis like be fighting with Rick, when Alexis said something about Rick in the panic room, I was like, but Alexis, you married Rick and had a baby
Right.
with him after the panic room. So like let's
Yeah.
be really clear about what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
That's I was a fan of every read that Rick had for Alexis.
Yes.
I didn't even feel like Alexis had any points.
No, I mean, she just had the last word. She had the last word, but I was just like, it doesn't matter if she had the last word. I feel like he won that
Hmm.
argument 100%. And she
Yeah.
was being ridiculous. And
Hmm.
I did not like her in that aspect. And that's what, what again, back to the whole still defending Christina over Molly. I mean, I don't
Hmm.
understand why she felt what she said would be comforting to Molly. What it does is it confirms to Molly that no matter what Christina does, you will defend her and
Right.
take up her side over mine.
Right.
And that's what it told me. And and if I
Hmm.
was Molly, that's why I would have taken it.
Hmm.
And it's so telling. And I have a feeling that, yeah, like Friday was a cliffhanger where Alexis was trying to chase after Molly. I have a feeling that they're going to walk out of that courtroom and not say anything to Christina about what she said to Molly.
I agree with that. I mean, because Sunny's not gonna care. The
Right.
only person who should have a care about that is Alexis,
Alexis.
and she's not gonna
She's not going to
care.
say anything. She's
And
not
so
going to say
folk
anything.
for folk like so
Yeah.
Christine after everything was said,
Yeah.
Molly had to deal with TJ being mad at her for not grieving the
Right.
way that he wanted her to, and then she had to deal with Christina saying that that she never loved Irene though
Hmm.
because she wasn't her mother.
Right.
And I don't know, like Christina is such a flat villain to me, and I don't know if that's what she's supposed to be. I do think that part of the reason that folks like Rick and Ava are interesting, and you kind of named a little bit of this, is that they're able to be dynamic, that there's so many
Hmm.
sides to them, that they're not
Right.
all good, they're not all bad. You can like see where they're coming from in the midst of the foolishness, and not enough characters are allowed to be that dynamic. People are
Hmm.
just flat. And we'll talk a little bit
Hmm.
about that as we talk about other people, but people are just flat. And so having them be able to be so dynamic actually shows you how they should be writing for other people.
Hmm.
So we have the other two kind of fallout things I want to talk about. Um, and we'll go deeper into Tally's breakup a little bit later, but Sunny and this like a lot like this revenge fantasy that Christina now has, and Sunny and homophobic Maria Santos.
So Sunny being the whole, well, if our justice system doesn't handle this, then I will. Um, Again, this speaks to the pattern of who Sunny is and how he is kind of like he's all about vigilante justice, if that's the case, if that's what you want to call it, or mob justice, retribution. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not helpful to his daughter. He think he's being helpful to his daughter by agreeing with her behavior and agreeing
Mm-hmm.
with that instinct of revenge. And it's not helping at all. And then um homophobic Maria Plato. Man, like I was saying, I think that the they're trying to push Sunny and her together in some kind of way. Um, and unfortunately, I think it's not enough for the audience to get over her homophobic behaviors. And I think
Not if
even the
not me.
behavior and even her like explanation to Christina as to why she did it. She felt like it was the least she could do after treating her and her daughter so horribly. I don't even think Christina really said. I think she said okay. She said maybe thank you, but she didn't say I forgive you for what you did. Like even Christina can't even say those words. And so I think it's a real hurdle and it's a shame because
Hmm.
Eva LaRue is such a great actress.
So
Um,
great.
and I even saw, on X or on Twitter, folks were being like, if they really want to keep Ava LaRue, why don't they do the same thing they did with Roger Howard? Just kill her off and bring her back as another character.
Yep.
Because at this point, that character is done and it's hard to let that go. But yeah, they're trying.
I mean, there's so many reasons that it's hard,
Hmm.
right? Because we know characters can be redeemed. Like, it is that they didn't write her as, I don't know if they didn't write her as a villain. They tried to make us more mad at Ava than her.
Right,
It was never good. And
right.
I will say this. I was a fan of Craze because I really liked Blaze. I mean, obviously, if you listen to the show, you know we had um, Jacqueline on here. I think that she is like a phenomenal person, and I think that she's a phenomenal actress.
Hmm.
And and if you follow her, you'll see both of those things. And Christina does not work without her. And I
Hmm.
don't think they understood that. That Blaze, the character, grounded Christina. Blaze, the
Yeah.
character, made Christina rootable. So as soon as they got rid of that relationship, one, we got rid of a relationship that I thought had a lot of chemistry, that I thought like was really interesting. But then we also got rid of what grounded Christina and made her not just a character, right? Like
Hmm.
now she's just kind of a mess. It's like, oh my God, I'm a mess. When she was with Blaze, we saw her grow. We saw her be like, I'm gonna do this, um, shelter, and I'm gonna do this thing, and I'm gonna do that. We saw her actually growing into her own and being a woman that wasn't just completely dependent on her parents. We saw her
Hmm.
being a shoulder to like lean on for her girlfriend. So I don't know what the idea was or the thought was to get rid of Blaze, but that the character of Christina does not work without her. I'm sorry, it just particularly not this version.
Agreed.
And the idea that we got rid of Christina's girlfriend but kept her homophobic mom. I love Eva LaRue. I think she's phenomenal. I would have been happy for her to be anybody else but this. I don't know. I just don't know who made these decisions. It's not good. It's not smart. Christina has been insufferable since it happened. In
Hmm.
addition to the fact that Sonny should not be okay with her. It's not a believable situation. I actually don't even think her and Mo have a lot of chemistry. So it's not even like they're fighting chemistry through a bad story. It's just
Hmm.
bad all the way around to me personally.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know how they can redeem that unless, again, they kill her off and bring her back. I don't know. And they can do it, and they can do it bluntly. It could be like a wink to the audience. We're like, yes, we heard you, but we really like Ava LaRue. So we're gonna just, smack her over the head and she fall into the river and disappear. And then her twin sister comes. The twin sister who may bring back the Alcazars.
Ooh.
I don't know. Whatever.
Hmm.
They can write they can do it. And I think the audience would appreciate it if they did.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I just it's not good. They need to go ahead and bring. If I got to deal with Christina, they need to bring back Blaze. There's just no
Yeah.
reason for us to like
Right.
have to deal with this and just deal with her.
Yeah. Mom's twin sister who's always been supportive of Blaze, loves her, and all of that. Yes.
Hmm.
Writers, pay
Absolutely.
attention. We're writing it for you. Just do it.
We've written so many things. Just listen to us.
Right.
Be- because I think that for both of us, we're the kind of people who we will watch the show if it's good. What the show needs is good character driven stories performed well. Even if it's not my ship, even if it's not my faves in the
Mhm.
forefront, if you give me good story, I'll watch it. And I feel like we propose good story ideas and they just don't listen. I don't know. They'd be better if they listened to Tonya and Tracy.
Yeah.
Um, so Drew and Jason. Jason goes to Drew. I guess he was surfing in the winter in the
In the
lake.
winter, in the middle, yeah.
And he tells him that he's moving into the queues. Drew acts really funny about it, and Carly comes out of nowhere. Get my girl a story, because everything they got Carly doing is getting on my nerve. But Carly comes out of nowhere, and it's like, "Don't fight."
She's the mediator between the two, which for this particular duo makes sense. Her being the mediator between a lot of other stories doesn't. But let's talk about Drew surfing. First of all, the other Drew never did that. I don't understand
No.
why he's like, second of all, again, why surfing in the middle of winter? I don't know if that's New York behavior. I don't know. I'm just like, it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And well, I don't know. The Port Charles are that what coast are they on? Is it a land like is it a lake? Is it a
Yeah,
whole
it's a lake.
ocean?
I think it's
A
like one of
lake.
the Great Lakes. Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Do you surf on the Great Lakes? I
I
thought
don't
you
know
only
anybody who
surfed in the
does.
oceans. Great Lakes don't have waves like that, do they?
It's also winter.
Right. It might be frozen right now. At least the Great Lakes of Michigan, I've known they're known to be like actually frozen. But hey, um, Drew being very unreasonable. Like, I'm just going to take Scout if you move in. Do you care about your daughter or do you just care about your own ego right now? Because it sounds like
Hmm.
it's, your own ego. You don't care about your daughter does not want. Your daughter has told people that you said it was okay that they live here. So now you're just hating on Jason for smacking you upside your head for doing something you knew you did wrong. He's just become more and more ridiculous to me,
Hmm.
and I'm just not appreciating it. And I feel like I think Steve Burton and had his podcast, and they were like, "Poor Cameron Madison." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah," because he's a decent guy, and he's playing this horrible person. He just did a post with Michael E. Knight saying, "Yeah, I remember when my first scenes with
Yeah, I
all
saw
my
that.
children," and I was like, "Oh, that's cute." Oh, I love that. So unfortunately, I hate your character right now, Cameron. It's
It's
really sad.
cartoonish. It
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. There's no connection of the dots. They didn't do enough
right.
to make this compelling. All of a sudden, Drew goes from being a pretty decent, upstanding guy to the
Yeah,
dude who's like creeping on a girl and her mama and lying to
right.
his best friend.
Right. And being petty about his daughter. It's just
It's
it's crazy.
it, it's also silly because the fact that Drew would think that Jason would like beat him up just for kissing Willow is crazy. Like the fact that they don't know that there's more, and the fact that he thinks like you stand in the house so that Michael can see you, so you can be all around his wife, but you think that Jason can't stay in the
Jason.
house.
Right. Jason, who grew up in that house before people even knew you existed.
Okay,
Jason, the one that Monica really, 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 really loves.
He was like Monica. I already talked to Monica. She said I could stay here.
Right.
It,
I mean,
so
he's very foolish right now.
it, and he's like, I'm going to DC with Scout. It's
Petty,
just I'm
petty
not
and
I'm
wrong.
not interested. I guess we could go. I didn't put this in the order, but I guess we can go right into like the Curtis thing. So we
Oh
have
yeah.
Curtis like talking to Jordan about what happened and telling her about Drew being shady. In a perfect world, before Drew got so slimy, we would have had a fling with him and Jordan.
Hmm. Cameron or Drew and Jordan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think we
Mm-hmm.
were like everybody was kind of shipping that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the funny
So
thing is, another funny meme I saw was Curtis with Jordan is better than Curtis with Portia. And I was like, ooh.
I'm just over Curtis. I don't know if, and I try not to go into like actors acting. I don't know if Donnell's bored, but like he's the same in every scene to me. I don't know if he's just like
Yeah.
protesting because they're not giving him a better story. But him talking to TJ is the same as him talking to Michael, which is the same as him talking to Jordan. There's nothing there. It's a boring story. It's silly.
Hmm.
It's not good.
He's playing a
And
supporting role to all of them, basically.
and I also was like, why is he not talking to his wife? Why are we having all these scenes with Jordan?
Exactly. About to be another. Well, I don't know because
No,
it
get
looks
away
like
from her.
Jordan has another interest right now, so he needs to leave
Yes,
her alone.
get away from her.
Um, right. So,
Yeah,
but in any case, Jordan is giving him good advice because Michael's playing him just as much as Drew. Oh,
this is true. This is absolutely true.
yeah.
This is absolutely true. Um, let's get into Lulu. Let's get into Lulu with her family. That's a big chunk of the week. So we obviously have Lulu showing up to the Quartermains, having all of these reunions, and what we also know is that she does not know how much time has gone past. So
Mm.
now she has to be caught up on all the things that we have seen play out for the past 3 years. So we talked a little bit about the performances. But just like, how are you feeling about her grounding into the family? What kind of was the thing that she found out that hit you the hardest?
Ooh, that hit the hardest was probably her finding out about her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, is what she was in disbelief, and she was like, he's probably still out there. And Lucky had to spend some time to convince her to, no, we
Yeah,
have a body. No, I saw it. No, this. And it was
yeah,
devastating. That was
yeah. She
really
said,
sad.
one of the quotes I wrote down from her, she said, "Dad has died before."
Or right,
Hmm.
yeah, which is crazy. These storylines are heck crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was pretty hard. I think what I enjoyed about it, because I mean, she had such um a familial relationship in her scenes with both Lucky and Jeannie Francis. And um Dante had said this. He said it was just like it was yesterday. Like she's just, like he relates to them all in the same way, except there's difference in that things has changed since then.
Hmm.
And so that's why I'm like really appreciating Alexa Havinson's performance. Because one thing that I noticed, like, I mean, she and when she and Laura were together, I mean, she was laying on her lap and
Yeah.
doing all these things, and it was like, wow, it was like such a real performance, and I loved it. It
Hmm.
wasn't as emotional for me as it was with Rocco. I think her and Rocco just kind of staring at one another and in awe, and Rocco not wanting to leave her side, Rocco making her the sandwich, making,
Yeah.
all of that was very emotional and gut wrenching for me. And I really wish that Charlotte was here because I think it probably would have been the same thing. I would have loved to see Scarlett play against Alexa. I think that would have been really enjoyable for me, and I hope they do find her and bring her back. And I know you feel like if she comes back, then, the actor who plays Jake has to come back too. And how are they going to explain that when they've aged the other characters?
Jake ain't
But
coming back.
I know. So that's the thing. But yeah, I thought Alexa's doing a great job. I enjoyed the reunions. I enjoyed how, she's like when she's finding out things, she's like, no, 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 this is unacceptable. I'm going to change it. Like, She was putting on her shoes, getting ready to go and find her daughter. She was like, I'm gonna do all of these things. They were like, girl, you just got out of the hospital. And she's ready to go and find people that need to be found and fix things that need to be fixed.
Hmm.
Which seems like almost true to her personality and character, but again, forgetting that she just woke up and she's still the girl needs to relax and sit down. I can't imagine what it's like waking up from a coma after 4 years and
Yep.
thinking, that you can just jump in. I do remember though when I was in a car accident, I was just gone for like 2 days and I was
Oh
in the
my God.
hospital. And I woke up and I was thinking, man, I'm gonna be late for work. I gotta go. That's
That's
how
really
I was
scary.
thinking. It is scary, but I was just thinking, oh, I gotta go back to work. And my doctor's like, no, you're not going to work.
Hmm.
And so that's the mindset that she probably has, but she's been gone like 4 whole years. And so
Hmm.
she's thinking she can get up and do all the things that she used to do and fix her family when she really can't because all of it's been done. And so I can only imagine how frustrating that would be as a character.
Mm. Yeah, as a person who liked Sante,
Yeah.
um, I like the way Dom is playing Dante, which is
Yes.
like, of course, he's like happy and relieved that Lulu is there, and he loves her obviously, and like for his son, but that has not changed the grieving that he's doing for Sam, and I think
Mm,
for me, it's important that that's happening and that they didn't just like push him back with her or like make it so um, he's just like over the moon and forgot about Sam. There is a very muted grief in his performance. And so to have Lulu pick up on that and then find out like how close him and Sam were, that Sam was like technically Rocco's like de facto mom. I did
hmm
feel like they did a really good job with that. Um, that flashback to her hair, which on that brown wig, I don't know what that was about. I did laugh. I
Yeah.
did, I did laugh. Um,
Yeah.
having her talk about Dustin and like not going to his funeral, I was like, girl, nobody care about Dustin. You didn't care about Dustin. Stop it. Um, like, get out of here.
You're right.
I also like something that I found it was interesting because I was like in a group watching it and we were in the chat, and when Lucky bought up the last time he saw Lulu was when he bought Jake back from Cassadine Island. I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
okay, so you do remember that you bought Jake back. You do
Hmm
remember that you were like that you should feel something about him too, that like you were
hmm
his father as well. And even when he saw Jason, um, it just made me think of how weird things were with the rescue of
hmm
Lucky and going back to say, oh, they're not even trying to like put these pieces together for us because Lucky would have known Jason as Drew. If
Right.
you remember when Lucky left, it was when it was like the whole Jerusalem story, and that's kind of how he left. And so when he saw Jason, he didn't even ask him about Jake. These are the little beats I think that we're missing. Because if they're trying to build the show around the Spencers again,
Yeah.
Lucky's or Luke is gone. They're bringing Lulu in under like really tough circumstances. I think she's doing a good job pushing, like Alexa's doing a good job pushing through them, but they're tough circumstances. Y'all have made Laura so annoying for the past couple of years, particularly with the Esme love,
Mhm.
and you continue to like dig your heels into Lucky being a deadbeat. I'm not really clear as to why y'all think if this is the family we're trying to build things around, that this is the way they're writing it. I felt like her response to Spencer was really muted. I know that obviously I care about Spencer as a character, but this was like a 20-something-year-old and your nephew who you cared about. Like they had a close relationship. I'm gonna be shocked. that this is happening, that he's gone. And I felt like that reaction was kind of muted. I guess some of it might have been off screen while she was talking to Laura, and then we came back into it. But I, as a fan, I felt like that was pretty muted. Um,
I don't
yeah,
remember. So was adult Spencer in this? No,
no,
on the scene? No. So yeah.
no.
So she missed the like everybody else. She missed the Soras
Hmm.
when he grew up, and then so she wasn't around for all of the adult shenanigans that he had went through. So
Right.
yeah, as far as she knows, he was still the little kid that rigged the mayor's election. But
Hmm.
nobody knew he did that. So except for
Hmm.
Charlotte. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was
Ugh.
particularly interesting that yeah, I just felt like it was interesting that the whole thing around her coming back, the Laura didn't have cell phone reception and people didn't call each other, it just felt really convoluted.
Yeah, I had a hot take about that actually, about Laura in particular, because so when I guess who was it, Lucky told her that Lulu was awake, and so she was at home
Yeah,
at first, and then she goes back to work, and I was like, why are you going back to work? Your daughter's running around town, and you go back to work. I don't get. That was my like whole hot take for Laura. And I actually did write down very many. That was just it was
I thought it
crazy.
was also bizarre to have Dex be like the one. The only time we saw Dex was him bringing in Cyrus.
Mm,
What are we doing?
yeah.
And it was also for me really interesting because so Anna and Laura hate Sonny for taking things
Mm-hmm.
into his own hands with Cyrus, or that was like the story. But now they're
Mm-hmm.
like fake arresting him and going over like so what so now you know Cyrus was a problem.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you going to apologize to Sunny now?
Well, apparently
There's only a
him and
certain kind of vigilante justice that they approve of.
it's not like it's completely fine to like abuse the power of your office. Like that's
No,
particularly
no.
it's completely fine.
Yeah.
Well, Sonny did say that him and Laura are like tentatively okay. It's like what he said to Lucky, but Anna's still going hard.
Right. And Anna, oh, yeah, Anna's being very problematic lately, unfortunately. And I know
Yeah.
we love her as a character,
Hmm.
but she's doing some sketchy stuff.
Well, let's
Mm.
get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So, because Lulu's woke, now she wants like Charlotte to come back. Now she wants everyone to like drop everything that they are doing to like
Hmm.
help bring Charlotte back.
Hmm.
Um, I am irritated by it. I felt I don't know what they're doing with Anna. I don't know why they're doing it this way. Every scene, it's like they're kind of writing her as like kind of bumbly. That Jason has to keep coming in to be like, no, you can't do this. You have to do it the way I. This is not Anna. Anna is like strong. She is certain. She is protective. The fact that she would have Carly go into a situation and like be very dismissive of her not being safe, being like, oh, well, she was Sonny's wife, so whatever. That ain't Anna. What are we doing? And the fact that we would have Carly be like, oh my God, I'm just a girl. I mean, goodness, the WSB gets swept for bugs. How could I have ever known? I mean, God. Like, it was just like, why are you writing Carly as an airhead? She has always been capable. She's always been smart. It's almost like you have to dumb down women or make them very annoying to make Jason work.
I don't like this back and forth that Anna is doing with Jason. First, she's very
No.
judgmental of his life and everything he does, and she's like, we can't be friends and we can't do this. But the minute she needs something, she calls him.
Mm-hmm.
Why? It makes no sense. And,
Mm-hmm.
using Carly, I mean, she didn't, I never felt like she really cared about Carly one way or the other, but yeah, it's just like she didn't need Carly to plant a bug. She could have done it herself. I'm like, I don't get it. She waltzes into Jack Brennan's office every other minute whenever she has a demand or something like that. She totally
Mm-hmm.
could have done everything that she's asking Carly to do. She could have done it herself. She had Spinelli. She didn't need anything else. She didn't need
Right.
Jason. She didn't need Jason or Carly. But, it's
And
weird.
like to the point of they literally sweep for bugs all the time at the WSB as they should. And you got her putting like it like so they're supposed to be like some cyber god. We ain't got nothing smaller. We ain't got her putting something on him. It just it it was it was like not thought out. It was the lack of
Hmm.
intention. It was like we ain't really got nothing else for Carly to do. I laughed when Carly showed up and was like, "What am I doing here? You right, girl? What are you doing here?"
Right.
There was this meme I saw on Blue Sky. Because I think that a lot of people who don't like Carly migrated over to Blue Sky as well. But it was like her coming up from like the bushes or something, and it was like Carly looking for a storyline, and it was like done by some Carly haters. But I did laugh because like this is true. But I'm also like, this is the monkey paw wish of it all that y'all be like, get Carly out of stories, or we don't care about Carly, or we don't care about her. And now instead of her carrying a story, which she could, and doing something interesting around her, which it should be, they have her just inserted into things that don't make any sense and have her show up for 5 minutes and leave.
Right.
I I'm not a fan of it. I of course love Anna. I don't love what they have Anna doing. I think that Anna pretending as if people have to care about Charlotte. You even talked about like Charlotte coming home to Lulu. Charlotte has always liked Valentine more than she's like Lulu. So I'm sure Charlotte's actually fine. Let her FaceTime with her mama and then let's move on. Charlotte
Right.
ain't ever really cared nothing about Lulu. So this idea that like that Jack and everybody, if he helped Valentine get out of town because there was something going on, why do you think
Hmm.
he would care about Lulu being awake to have Valentine come back? What are we talking about?
It's
And
crazy.
I'm really tired of Jason is literally supporting his son. Sam just died. And I'm supposed to believe that Anna is so self-absorbed that she is going to like continue to take Jason away from his family,
Hmm.
like
So
continuously take Jason away from his family.
she's continuously breaking up a family to reunite another family. It's really all
And
about Valentine, honestly.
and she like is supposed to be the commissioner, but she keep doing this out of town. Like, what are we doing?
Right. We
This
still
is like a
need to solve the mystery of what happened to Austin.
I don't think anybody cares about that.
I know. We need to figure out again, these are two deaths that no one cares about. John Cates, that mystery still not solved. All kinds of
Just
stuff that
F
happened in Port Charles. She don't care about.
the
Nobody cares about.
FBI said, "Oh, one of our own was killed." No problem. Apparently,
Well, I
like,
mean, as long we could have gotten Carly for it, but apparently she didn't do it, so oh well.
oh my goodness, so absurd.
So what
Yeah.
I would prefer let's get to back to how we can rewrite this storyline into a way that
Mhm.
we like it. Again, instead of making it having to be about some kind of work adventure, let's just focus on the Carly Brennan romance and let that be the story. That'd be great. Now, if Anna wants to go and run after Valentine because yes, that was the couple, let that be the story and have that be the end of it. Let Jason focus on his child. Let that be the end of it. It doesn't have to be some convoluted adventure and scrape. or caper in order for it to be good story. This is a soap. We could lean in on the romance and let it be at that. It's okay.
You and I on the same page. I
Right.
literally have written down here, where is the love? Where is the
Right.
romance? And
Yeah.
it's happening everywhere. Everything is convoluted. Everything is silly. Everything
Mhm.
is breakup. Even with the Tali breakup, I'm like, you didn't give us enough of them together to justify this kind of emotion in a breakup. Who cares? We never saw them. Like we literally never saw them romancing. We never saw them like having a slice of life that wasn't about Christina. It was never anything. We could have had just like small stories or small little scenes with them like joking and like having pizza while putting up the crib to like acknowledge their parents and also that they love each other. You know what I mean? Like all of these things that could have happened, but now I got to look at Molly be like, "Dear Diary, I really liked TJ 5 minutes ago. Shut up. This is ridiculous. Where is the romance? Y'all have more romance in her diary from when she was a kid than we've seen on screen from any couple.
Oh. Oh,
We
did they
we
have a
got
love scene? Did Kristen Vonnegut and TJ have like this? What new Molly? Did she have a love scene with TJ?
I think maybe one. I don't remember. Um, I don't
I
remember.
mean, it wasn't a believable emotional breakup, but they did a good job.
Hmm. I mean, I'll even say like we have this. We could move to Jordan and Isaiah. First of all,
Right.
these two beautiful people should be doing beautiful people things. I don't want to see them sitting up in a office talking about a contract. Y'all could have
Hmm.
had that all these things that happen off screen. Y'all could have had that happen off screen, and then we could have seen him romancing her over dinner.
Hmm.
I want to see him in a suit. I want to see her in a dress. Why are we wasting these extremely beautiful people on nonsense? Romance, give it to me.
Oh
Woo
my God.
me as a viewer.
I'm gonna get us flagged, but I was just thinking of Joe's love scene when you there's the romance. You know the song by
Oh
Joe?
yeah, 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 yeah. Where where is it? Give me love. Give me romance. Give me something that lets me know that that there are relationships being built and growing here. That's what I want to see. I
Mhm.
don't need to see them going over contracts in the office.
Yeah, right. Agreed. Oh,
What else? Who else? Who else? Um, Deception. Woo,
why
he
are they
was a good.
bringing this back up again? I don't understand this need to bring it up again about her and her accent.
The accent discrimination story, y'all like that?
That
For
was
Italians,
I didn't get it. And I
be
didn't
for
get
real.
how believable it was that, oh my God, we hit our target now after a 5-minute conversation that she had with some random friend. I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. She's changing her her voice back. That doesn't mean I'm gonna go and buy deception products.
They had deception like products that they're selling now, like real deception products online. And I
Oh,
just, if you've ever seen Best Man Holiday, where Terrence Howard goes to Tay Diggs, do you need some money? That's how I feel. Are we broke? As a show, are we broke? Just tell me, is the writing this way or the thing set up this way because we're broke? Because if we're broke like that, like so broke that it's got to be like this, I can manage my expectations. Maybe I'll buy a Deceptor or whatever it is, but let me know. Do we need a
what is the
Kickstarter?
what is a deceptor anyway as a product? Like, what
I
does
don't
it
know.
do? Because it
I don't
looked
know.
like a little fan thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna
That's one
Google
thing.
it.
They've never really described what the product is. It's
Let me
just
see.
that it makes you look younger.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I know. Like
Okay,
how?
let's
Is
see.
it massage your face? Does it like put moisturizer? Like what does
That
it do to
is,
make you look younger?
oh, okay. It's a portable home spa device which uses ultraviolet light on the face for a younger and healthier appearance. Oh, I have one of these. It doesn't look like this, but it's like to like keep your skin clear. Like, well, that's what mine is. I got it from you know how at the end of the year where you have all your FSA. My last job, um,
Uh-huh.
I was like, I went to the website. Yeah. Anyway, apparently that's what the Deceptor is. But I'm saying, like, are we broke as a show? Do we need to put up a Kickstarter at ABC? Is Mickey holding back checks? What's happening that's making things be this way? This accent discrimination story, absurd. Absurd. And to your point, it's like, oh, her accent went back. Now I'm gonna buy things because I'm watching Home and Heart.
Right. I'm not. How many people watch those kind of programs? I know a lot of people. I mean, the fact that it's still going shows how many people actually watch because they buy stuff. People that watch that. I don't understand it,
Like
but
I'm watching the show and I'm like, ugh, I'm not gonna buy these things. And then I hear somebody sound like they're from Bensonhurst. I'm like, oh, give it all to me.
hmm maybe it was all the Bensonhurst family and friends that bought all the 40,000 units. Was it that they needed 40,000? That's a lot
Mm.
of units to sell for one segment. I don't know. I
Well,
don't run a business. I don't run it. I really don't run a business.
let's keep it going about Lois and Brooklyn. What is going on with this rewrite of the relationship between Dante and BLQ? So we have Cody like introducing that him and Dante knew each other obviously in camp in Brooklyn was like the girls camp down the block or whatever it was. Here's the thing. Here's why this doesn't work. Oh, and that Brooklyn and him had a fling. So people have pulled up the receipts.
Mm,
People pulled up the old Brooklyn Adrian back when Julie was Lulu with Dante. They were talking, and when Lulu was like asking them if they ever had a past, she was like, "Yuck, gross." He's like my brother. That people
right.
in the neighborhood wanted them together, but that was never their like. That was first. Somebody then pulled up a clip of our current Brooklyn Amanda meeting Cody for the first time.
Mm,
That she was sitting with Brad. They were talking about how hot he was. She introduced herself to him, and then she had to go to work. So
hmm
now we're to believe that that doesn't matter. It's just a rewrite, that they've known each other all this time, and that Dante and Brooklyn used to have a fling.
And how old were they when they're at this camp?
I don't even know. 15, 16 or something?
And how old are they now? What, they're probably in their 40s, I guess, because Gio is in his 20s
Right.
or maybe late 30s. The
So,
timeline don't make sense.
no,
The
but
story don't make sense.
here's the issue. We are soap fans, right?
Right.
We will accept a lot of rewrites. We will accept a lot. But what we won't accept is you playing in our faces this way. This is lazy. It is disrespectful to us as viewers. It is a product of y'all just making things up and throwing it at the wall. And it's not like it just happens once or twice. It happens all the time.
Sasha being Robert's kid.
Come on.
I mean, you gotta space these unbelievable stories out. Don't take us for granted, you know?
Exactly.
And that's
Exactly.
what they're doing.
And we also like, when I started watching ABC soaps, I grew up on NBC soaps. I grew up on Days of Our Lives, Passions. I started watching ABC soaps in college. The first episode I ever watched of One Life to Live was in like 2001 or 2002. We didn't really have YouTube yet. So I remember, so I went to Soap Central because I'm a nerd like that. I want to know everything. I
Hmm.
went to Soap Central and like read through everything. You know, now you don't have to do that. You can go back on YouTube and watch. And so when you do something that is as egregious as what they're doing now, it feels like an insult because we watch these like long term and long form shows because we like to be ingrained in history. We like
Hmm.
that. So to continue to say history doesn't matter, it's tough. It's tough to watch. And I think also they probably just didn't know what they were doing with Geo because it really looked like when they were like setting Geo up that he might have been Drew's kid. You remember he
Mm.
at the wedding, or like that's at least what I was theorizing, because at the wedding he recognized Jason,
Yeah.
and that's what Drew's face would look like. And he was like, "Oh yeah, my dad, died in the military, and it would have been around the time that Drew would have
Hmm.
gone missing." So that's what
Mm.
it seemed like they were setting up. And I remember being excited, like, "Oh, maybe that's going to be the scandal that drops while Drew is like running for office." Because we want to see drama.
Hmm.
Whatever this is, this like camp story that y'all are making up out of nowhere, it's
That's your
disrespectful to
re
all the characters around involved.
Yeah. So that is your rewrite for Cameron, for Drew, and for Geo. That would have been a better story
Mm,
if we wanted Drew to have more drama instead of being involved with Willow. He
hmm.
could have a legitimate another child out there that he didn't know about, who
Another one.
was genius, another one. But in any case, yeah, I think you're right. I think, it takes us for granted. It's silly. It doesn't fit with history. And there, again, having, spending, you know, Kelly Monaco money on Geo was just like, no. I think, um, so yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I still personally, I thought that maybe Geo was Lois's kid. There are just so many different clues out there that Geo could be anybody's kid at this point because we don't know. The clues,
Hmm.
none of the clues add up, none of them make sense. And now they're making up some fanciful story about Dante to cause what? Strife between Dante and Lulu and Brooklyn and Chase?
Right.
Why?
Well, you're
Why?
not gonna put Brooklyn and Dante together, so
Right.
it's just
So
nonsense.
it is
Yeah.
nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's frustrating to me. And it also changes, I mean, who knows, but it also like changes the long-term trajectory of other characters. Because it's one thing to make a mistake in the moment, it's another to like be holding on to 20 years, 22 years worth of lying. That
Yeah.
changes the fabric of a character because you wanted to make up a story and because you weren't planning properly.
And Dante don't need any more kids. He's
No.
got Rocco. He's got Scout. Because we know Drew ain't going to be around for long. I'm hoping they
Right.
write him out in some way. So he's got Scout, Rocco, and Danny. Now he's going to have
Hmm.
Geo? What? He does not need any more kids. Leave him alone.
And
He's got enough
and
drama to figure out.
right. And I will also say this that I've always been a person who didn't mind Geo. What I mind is what they've written. What I mind is that they've never made him interesting. They've never given him a chance. They've never connected him. He's just there playing violin. And it's because they have chosen not to invest in that age group, and it hurts
Mhm.
everyone in that age group.
Mhm.
Speaking of that age group, let's talk about Trina and Kai.
Let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking?
Okay, so again, this is the personal part of it, right? I'm thinking several things. One, I'm thinking how ridiculous it is that now everybody's obsessed with football, when General Hospital has always cemented itself as a baseball town. Whether that's the teams playing against each other, whether shout out to Dante and Sam, hold the bat tight, like they whether it's Dante and Michael and everybody else being a Yankees fan, this has been a baseball town. So now all of a sudden we care about football at PCU because PCU is now some sort of football school that feeds into the NFL. I went to school in a Big Ten town. I was a football fan. Um, it is silly and unbelievable that a football player would be in a class with Trina that made it impossible for her to do her class project. So that's like the basis of it. And also, I just don't care about this being a story. Where is the romance? I don't need Trina being in an argument with a classmate because they can't do a presentation together. That's not the foundation of a romance I want to see. Add to that, we don't even see them enough. When you are establishing a romance, when you are establishing something like this, they should be on all the time so that we can start like caring about this character. It shouldn't be sporadic. We saw him once, twice, like who cares? Actually, like if you want this storyline to work, if you want this relationship to work, like if the show wants this relationship to work, you should make us care about him, particularly because her last relationship was popular with, and it was with a legacy character. So this feels like setting them up for failure. That's how I feel.
Again, I would just have to say, lean into the romance of the story. It doesn't have to have drama to it. He could
Hmm.
be a football player and he can't make it. Oh no. Trina, being the independent and smart and beautiful, classy person that she is, she could do the project, still have a crush on him. I mean, it like doesn't have to be drama filled or angst filled. Lean into the romance. Lean into that. Oh my God, this is a tall, handsome chocolate milk can of chocolate milk or whatever, and just be like, I am crushing hard on this man. Yes, I'm still grieving Spencer, but this man is giving me some kind of attention. He's treating me nice, or this is what he should be doing. He's not,
Hmm.
but that's how they could have written it. They could have made it, something that we want to see, that her being wined and dined and like even if he's not a rich man, he'll do what he can and he'll skip a practice or two just so he can hang out with her because he's so fascinated by her that,
Hmm.
oh, well, yeah, okay, this is an important game, maybe I'll make Trina a part of it, give her a ticket, or something like that. It doesn't have to be this, oh, I'm mad at you and disappointed at you and pissed off at you, and you're not, that's not a way a romance starts. It
No,
may be some drama in the middle of the romance once it's already started, but it's not making for a good courtship, like you said. And so, yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that. I like the actor. I think he's doing a good job. It's just like
yeah,
the story is just crazy.
it's giving High School Musical. They're too old for this story.
Yeah.
Like they are entering and like they're seniors in college now, or at least that's around
Mhm.
what they should be. I would actually much rather her be dealing with like a rival artist, or like you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, like
Mhm.
give us, if we're gonna do like this enemy to lover or like whatever it is, maybe like somebody, um another art gallery is coming into town and trying to take over Ava, and some you got mail type shit, whatever it is, like something different. I think the sports of it all is very silly. um we're not gonna see football for real. This is not that kind of show. It's just unnecessary, and it for me it's unfortunate because I want to root for Trina. I want to root for Trina's romances. I want Trina to be romanced. I don't want whatever this is, and it's not the characters. I think they have good chemistry. I think that he's cute. She's obviously gorgeous. I think they look good together. That's not the issue. It's what's being written for them, and unfortunately, there is not the foundation enough to like allow bad writing to carry them as a couple. Because something I was thinking about the other day is like how many couples, like there are so many people or so many couples that I started liking as a result of seeing them together. That maybe they weren't the like first thing I was like, oh yeah, this is like the couple I like. But when I saw them interacting, when I saw them being in relationship with each other, I was able to build up liking them. GH doesn't
Content.
even, yeah, GH does not offer anything like
Right.
that, or on GH or even across other mediums when you can think about other couples that you grew to like because you saw how they were together.
Hmm.
GH doesn't even offer that. There's no story that I see that makes me want to root for something. It's just us being like, okay, these people seem to be in proximity to each other. Let's see more, not the other way around. And that's really frustrating to me.
Hmm.
And like I said, it's not fair to characters like Trina who deserve to have like an actual romance. Um, yeah, and I will also say this, and this is my soapbox of sorts. I just remember everybody being mad, and I pushed back on it about like the Sabrina versus Jex situation, which I always thought was like ridiculous to put them against each other. But Jex never had a story either. Jex had physicality. Jex had
Hmm.
like they were always sleeping together, but they weren't invested in with story. We don't know anything about Dex. Dex doesn't have a backstory, and most of their relationship was in Dex's apartment. We saw
Hmm.
Dex because he was working for Sunny, and we saw Jocelyn because Jocelyn's a legacy character who was in relationship with people who were always on screen. Not that they were ever invested in his characters. Whereas to Sabrina, actually, like they didn't get some of that physicality because they were always trying to make everything a moment. They didn't know how to write romance for them. It was just longing. And so if they had to kiss, it had to be okay. Like they couldn't just regularly kiss as like characters. It had to be like, we gotta wait to sweeps, we gotta wait to whatever so that it's a big thing. And the story, particularly with the young adults, that stalls out so many of their stories, and it makes it so that they can't move forward into something that could be bigger and better because these kids are good and they have chemistry and they um, are interesting to watch. They just aren't given anything interesting to do.
Yeah.
The last thing I have. Oh, do you have something else?
No on
Hmm.
that.
The last story I have is Brad Lucas plus Portia.
No, not plus Portia, plus Stella, man. I
I
loved
love
having
Stella,
Stella checking Portia. Like you are making your hatred too obvious. I was like, yes, tell her.
but okay. So let's back up to talk about what the story is about.
Right.
First of all, let me first say this. Vernie, you are an angel. I love you so much. Every time Stella shows up on my screen, I smile.
Yeah.
You are magic. Every scene you're in is better. Make it better. That's it. I love her. But we have Brad and Stella bonding. Brad is like talking to
Hmm.
Stella. We also then find out after Lucas is talking to Elizabeth about everything with Sam, we find out that he's doing a really good job. He's going to be sent to Miami for a conference. Brad overhears this. Brad wants to also go to the conference. He asks Portia. Portia says no. Portia should say no.
Hmm.
What do you mean, lab tech?
Right. You're First of all, if Brad and Lucas are getting back together, I would prefer it be Lucas seeing Brad and saying, "Hey, I actually miss you. You're a great person. Let's get back together." Don't have it be Brad stalking Lucas everywhere he goes. That makes no sense. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, him going on this trip makes no sense. And I actually don't even think they're gonna invest in that. They're not gonna invest in Lucas actually going out of town to a conference. That costs too much money. They're not gonna do that. So why? Why? There's other ways that he could do it. And he was starting off. actually, I think he was starting off a little bit well, just noticing that, Lucas was suffering over the loss of Sam or being nervous at the idea of doing surgery. Just those little things and keeping it light and simple, being concerned, knowing his needs, and just kind of being there for him. That's how you get your man back, Brad. Don't be stalking him across the country at conferences for no reason. That don't make sense. Sorry.
No, no. I mean, I do wonder if we're going to see this at
Right.
the conference. But like to your point about Stella, when Brad was like, I just felt like, and I feel like uh, Portia is always being written in this way that's not fair to her. I even commented on like the Instagram of GH, like the official one, because the
Uh-huh.
day that all of this happened, that was like the pulled seed that comes out every day, and it was like Portia's being da 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 Brad. I was like, wait a minute. Portia, as the chief of staff, should tell the lab tech that he can't go to some doctor conference because he tried to creep on his ex. Now, when she was mad at him about hugging people and all this other stuff, that's when Portia was going too far. And that's when I think Stella could have
Yes.
stepped in on her. But this like
Right.
made sense. Like, what do you mean? Why would you go to this conference that was like exclusive for Lucas to even go?
And even if you're trying to keep Brad in check, it's going to make the other chief of staff suspicious. She's going to be like, why did you approve a trip for a lab tech to go to a doctor's conference? That's what I would do. And so that's
Yeah.
going to make it all the more suspicious. Why would you? Yeah, it's a silly move. And so either they want this whole dynamic between Portia and Brad to come out, or that again, the writing is stupid.
And given what we've seen, you
I
know.
guess. Ugh, writers.
Well, that's all I have for stories. Do you
Mhm.
have any hot takes?
Yeah, I did write down some stuff. So
Tell me.
some of it we've already talked about, but I want to read my hot takes because I think they're funny. So
Mhm.
I wrote down, Rick, love you, yelling at Alexis. And then I wrote, hate Alexis. She's such a I wrote, Drew is an asshole. It was a response to Drew making a comment of Jason being a deadbeat dad. And I wrote down, I was like, he was gone because he went looking for you. He got caught. And how are you gonna be mad at him? And then I
Hmm.
wrote, oh, Danny. And then I wrote, why is Laura okay with going back to work? And then on Thursday, again, I wrote, so when Alexis says she knows that Christina holds a lot of blame and isn't right, why does that piss me off even more? It did, because if you know you're wrong, you know she is wrong, why do you keep defending her over Molly? And then I wrote, oh, this is something we didn't talk about. The fight, right? We didn't really go in deep between the fight between Christina and Molly. And I wrote that Molly and TJ's breakup kind of makes Christina almost right. And so I kind of feel like this is going to be armor that Christina is going to have to lob at Molly and TJ. Because I hate that she could possibly, you know, use it and throw it into Molly's face, the fact that they broke up. That she'd be like, I knew it. I knew y'all weren't gonna break up. I knew it. And look at y'all now, not together. I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, I
Um,
thought it was weird that she even told Natalia that her and Blaze were going to raise the baby because I'm like, no, you weren't. Blaze told you she wasn't going to do that. And I,
exactly.
like, what are we talking about? We just making stuff up now?
Yeah.
And I think it was a problem that they didn't let Molly slap her.
Hmm.
Why is Molly just walking away from that? She should have done more than just have to cry away from that. Let Molly have a moment. Let Molly be mad. Let Molly be a real character. All the characterization that should not be like just for Christina. It's
Yeah.
very annoying.
Yeah. Molly should have smacked her in the face for that.
Mm,
That was bad. But those were the hot takes that I wrote.
you were correct.
So,
All right. Well, let's get into next week, we're gonna also do a little speculation
Okay.
of some things, just because want to know your thoughts on the things. I don't know anything. These are not spoilers. These are speculations of the dailies. Just say that. So Monday, Liz and Lucky get nostalgic. I'm happy about that. Laura receives a visitor. Dex gets a holiday treat. Sunny makes Christina an offer. Molly considers Alexis's proposal. One of the things that we didn't talk about is that Sunny keeps asking Christina if she wants to work at the business. I'm assuming that must mean coffee, not mob. Um, but maybe that's the offer again.
Yeah. I wonder who the visitor is. Tex gets a treat. What kind of treat? Who gives him the treat? Is it Molly or is it
Ugh,
Jocelyn?
Molly. Tuesday, Brennan confronts Carly. Do you think he found the bug or do you think it's something else?
I think so. I think he finds the bug and brings it to her and is like, "Oh, nice try." But yeah, I still don't know where he's at.
hmm The
Right.
actress the other actress whose name I don't even know, or the character whose name I don't know, the woman, her Instagram, she was talking about filming. So
Uh,
she was like still filming last week. So we will see more of
uh-huh.
her.
Hmm.
Nina issues a warning. Curtis tests Drew. Kai surprises Trina. Sasha updates Maxie. I think it's wild that we have not seen Sasha since she found out she was pregnant.
I think it's wild that Nina still doesn't know that Willow and Drew slept together.
Boom.
Right.
Wednesday, Anna conducts an interrogation. Curtis makes a confession. Drew seeks Nina's assistance. Dex reassures Jocelyn. Isaiah shares good news with Jordan.
Dex
Thursday,
reassures Jocelyn. What does that mean?
mm,
Reassures Jocelyn about what? Sorry.
mm, no, I don't know. Thursday,
Mm.
tensions flare at the Quartermain Christmas party. Ava and Rick get an unwelcome surprise. Christina brainstorms. Sunny and Natalia celebrate. Tracey makes a faux pas. I do wonder if this is going to be Sunny and homophobic Maria Santos and their first hookup.
And their first slip up?
Hookup.
Hookup. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think Sunny's probably gonna make her an Italian dinner,
Oh my
some
god.
risotto, some cacio e pepe.
Something with a special sauce.
What was it? The last year it was some special chicken.
Chicken piccata.
Wait, chicken piccata. He be
I
making
know
some
that because I'm starving.
really simple Italian dinners that he's wonderful at.
Um, then Friday, Elizabeth is baffled. Trina seeks out Kai. Drew is in the hot seat. Jocelyn gets life changing news. Carly runs interference.
Something about Drew's coming out this week.
Mm, maybe, possibly, probably. I wonder. So I wonder if like what's going on with Dex. So here's what I know: that Eden a couple weeks ago did like something where she said that she's filming something and she's been crying a lot. So my first thought was um, maybe Jax dies off screen, particularly because like
Mm,
Ingo is like acting stupid again, and like that could be like a
hmm.
way to stick it to him. But there was these pictures. I think they got taken down. And this is why I said spoiler alert if you don't want to know. But there were some pictures that got taken down of Dex laying in a hospital bed. So I wonder if something's going to happen to Dex.
Ooh. Wow.
I hope not. I like Dex. I don't
Yeah.
want to see them like Jocelyn need to lose another boyfriend, and that young adult group doesn't need to lose another person. But they have not been using Dex. We haven't gotten anything with him. I don't know if he leaves town to like find family. What if Jocelyn finds out she's pregnant? Like, I want to know what the life changing news could be.
Maybe it has something to do with Cyrus. Maybe like they're trying to send Cyrus to jail, back to jail for violating his parole, stalking Lulu, and then he escapes his prison transfer because Dex inexplicably has to drive him, and he escapes
Hmm.
and then he harms Dex.
Hmm.
Mm. I saw somewhere that Jeff Kober is going to be in a new movie.
Oh, we love him.
Yay!
The other thing that I am wondering, oh shoot, I just lost it. Oh darn, something about that,
Mm.
something about jobs. I can't remember, but I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see um, how it all turns out for them. Like I said, I like Dex. I want them to be building on this young adult scene, not disrupting it again. So we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Dear
if you manage to,
Divorce.
uh, if you made it to the end, we appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about Sunday Shift. And let us know how you feel about all the things in the comments. There's so much going on, also so little going on. So we would love to hear y'all talk about it with us. And we will see you
Yeah.
next week.
Bye.
Bye.